I've seen the first two episodes. It's very well done. I have to compliment you on your performance. How did you come to find out about this project?
Well, I read the novel before, but I couldn't imagine a film or a series um uh, being made out of it. At least I was not reading it that way. I was just inhaling the novel within 2 days. It struck me very much. But when the casting invite came, I was shooting a different series in Berlin. Concordia was the name, and I was like in a totally different tunnel. It was like sci-fi hacking thriller situation that I was in. And then came in the email, and it said something like the Tattooist of Auschwitz casting invite. And I immediately knew what it was, and I so desperately wanted to be part of it. So in this tunnel of shooting Concordia, I decided to use a lunch break with a colleague of mine with whom I was shooting, and also with a costume assistant. And there was a guy from the making of department, a DOP, that I asked if he could like do one or two takes on his camera, and we used the lunch break to do a self tape. And for a long time, that was it. And then at some point, there came an email which said, Jonas, you've been offered this. And I was like, give me a break. What? Okay. And what exactly does that mean now? And then I was starting my research, and I found hugely disturbing recordings of Stefan Baretzki defending himself in front of the Frankfurt trial. You could find them if you just Google his name, you find them on YouTube. And victims, Holocaust victims, survivors, um, tell tell their stories that they had seen, including Baretzky, and it's just so mind-blowingly horrible. It's such horrific, sadistic memories of these victims that I kind of panicked, and I was like, oh shit, I think I can't play that. I can't play him. He's so that's this monster. I can't get even. I don't want to get in touch with him. It was really that's how the process started. And then Tali reached out to me. Tali Shalom Isa, the director of the series, reached out to me via Zoom. And I was so unexpectedly warm, that call, as it felt like her warmth just went through the screen of my of my MacBook and hugged me. And that's actually what she did when we first saw each other without having a word of hello. She was just like embracing me when I came to Bratislava. And I was so nervous. I had so much fear going to into this production office, meeting her, and also meeting Jonah Hauer King, who was playing the young Lale. And he was just embracing me, and he was smiling, and he was saying, I'm so glad we would do this together. And I was just, I don't know. I literally don't know what I'm doing, how I should approach that. And then I sat down with Heather Morris, the author of the novel, who had spent a lot of time listening to the story Lale Sokolov wanted her to tell to the world, his love story, this incredible love story happening in Auschwitz. And I was sitting in front of her, and in front of two of her sons who'd spent a lot of time with Lale Sokolov as well. They were sitting in front of me in Bratislava, and she was just telling me everything she knew, that somehow most of it didn't find its way into the novel, but I could transport it into the series through playing Stefan Baretzky, and that painted a picture of course, a man who did monstrous things, who was a bad sadist, and just did the most horrific actions in Auschwitz that there are no excuses for. And also, Lale put in words that Stefan Baretzky, through the time they spent in Auschwitz, was the reason why he survived, and why Gita, the love he got to know in Auschwitz, survived. his wife later on. And also that Stefan Baretzki was a deeply insecure person that was on a desperate search for any kind of human relationship, pro- projecting that on Lale, trying to make a friend, which is deeply disturbing, but somehow I had those two influences that I had to combine in that character, and I could only do it in the co-work with Tali that was so loving to me, and Jonah Howard King, who was kind of just, we were kind of carrying each other through it, you know, all of the time, with the deeply respect and awareness of the weight that was on their shoulders, on each of every one of us, but having the definite aim of being true to the voice of Lale Sokolov, to his wish that this story finds a broad audience, that this story finds the way out there, and we used our medium as film creatives to do that.
I have to say, I think you've struck that balance. What kind of reception or impact are you hoping this series will have both in Germany and America and other places abroad?
Well, I really deeply hope that, you know, growing up in Germany and going to German schools, Holocaust education has been omnipresent for me. And we've learned through documentaries, we've learned through the voices of Anne Frank, of Holocaust survivors, their descendants, and we learned also through fiction, through movies, through series as well. And I think what a series like The Tattooist of Auschwitz is capable of is taking a young viewership, a broad young viewership, on an emotional journey with someone that you could look up to, like Lale Sokolov, in this horrible world. And you could really take a lesson from it, and you may also get some hope out of it. The hope of, if you I looked at Lale Sokolov and the recordings on the camcorder of Heather, and he's such a hopeful man, such a deeply inspiring, warm character. And that kind of transfers so much positive energy. And I think the series can do that too. You could learn from it historically, and at the same time, you may not lose hope. I hope that that's at least what that was our goal.